Ross, thanks for joining us. It was a big decision. How did you see it?
I saw it as not a penalty. What is difficult to accept is then the explanation that I'm given. So I've decided today to sort of stay away from the referees because screaming and shouting with them just gives yourself an headache, and they don't listen to anything you say anyway. And so when I asked the question at the end, why was it a penalty, he said that Adam Thompson scissored Cook and fouled him, which in my interpretation of scissored would mean him wrapping his legs around him or taking his legs away with him with a scissor type action, and that didn't happen. So if that's the case, it's not a penalty. If he said to me that he thought he'd grabbed him too much and wrestled him to the ground or something along those lines, then Adam's tight and he's marking in the box, which is what defenders do in League Two. So, in my opinion, very harsh. In my opinion, very, very disappointed. And at the same time, like I say, then to be given an explanation that makes absolutely no sense is very difficult to accept.
It was another game then. There weren't many chances created.
No, it wasn't today. I thought, in comparison, we knew it wasn't going to be. It's a good team we've come up against today, good players and in a good run of form, and we knew it was going to be tough. And we felt that setting up to counter-attack was going to be our best way of imposing ourselves on the game. And in the first half, we had a couple of real good moments where we nicked it, pinched it, got into good counter-attacking positions. We were brought fouls, and I didn't think we were great from set pieces in and around the box, which is a strength of ours at times this season. So that's frustrating. I thought in the second half we had a couple of little moments where we got down the left through Broth, Kempy, Nick, but nothing particularly clear cut tonight that is frustrating in comparison to what we did create at the weekend.
Danny Kemp again, probably the player that created the best chance from open play.
Yeah, he was bright, and I was sitting right behind it tonight as he struck it with his right foot, and me and the subs that I was sitting near thought it was in. So yeah, it was bright, a good piece of play. Come inside, and we know that position's one that he can cause problems from, as he scored at the weekend and got another half chance. So disappointed he didn't find the top corner.
Difficult spell now, isn't it? There's 6 without a win and only 1 goal in those 6 matches.
Yeah, that's true, Dave. That's right. Yep. I mean, for me, yes, it's disappointing. Yes, it's not a good run of form. It's our worst run of form that we've had, and that's very frustrating. We've put a lot of work into not being an erratic team. I felt our fixtures up until sort of in and around Christmas time, early January, reflected the fact that we will win or lose. And actually, if you look at your points tally throughout the season when that happens, it's not a bad one. But we were very conscious of the fact that we either won or we lost, and we put some work into making sure that we were a little bit more stable, and that's meant that we've not scored as many goals that we would have liked. I was really pleased at the weekend when I watched the game back, and the opportunities that we created and the moments and the balls into the box that we got were a lot more regular and a lot more threatening. But yes, it's obviously disappointing. It's a concern that we haven't scored. We've slowed down the amount of goals that we're conceding, but again, at the same time, it's disappointing tonight to come away with nothing from the game.
You did change the formation in the closing stages with the 2 up front. Again, were you tempted to do that earlier? I
think there's a lot being made of our formations at the moment, Dave, and that's understandable when you're not winning games. But when we were winning, no one really seemed to question it. I know, well, no, that's a lie. A lot of people always question my formations because it's me picking them, and I'm fine with that because some people, have always had a negative viewpoint on the way that my team sets out to play. But I understand that if I could play one at the back, and if we win or lose, that's what actually dictates people's opinions. So we've done a lot of work this week on what this week in the build up to the last couple of games on what we can be in terms of looking like more of a threat, and as I just touched upon there, that makes us not give up too many chances, and I feel in the last few games we haven't given up a great deal, but we've got to work harder in the final third to be a little bit more, take more risks and create ourselves some more opportunities. So we're disappointed. I knew that tonight we were not going to be free flowing and creating at will because of the team we were coming up against. So I'm not massively concerned about the formation. It doesn't particularly worry me. I look at the teams that have been successful both this season and last season at our level and all throughout the game, and you look at the likes of Plymouth, played 3-5-2 every week last year. Swindon 4-3-3 every week last year. Crewe got promoted 4-3-3 every week last year. Northampton 3-5-2 every week. So yes, it's something we're looking at. Yes, it's something we're exploring. But we feel, although the results haven't been fantastic in recent weeks, that performances haven't been too far off us actually getting the results.
And of course you'll have Hector back after suspension for Saturday. What about the absentees due to injuries, particularly Craig Clay?
Craig's getting very close, very close. In fact, we think that he will be, let's use that phrase again, very close, but getting there for the weekend. It's just now a case of, how close is he going to be? How well is he going to be in order to be able to play some part? And what we don't want to do with the amount of fixtures that we've got is chuck him in and then all of a sudden we're without him again. So we'll be careful, we'll be conscious of it, and if he comes through, I know the type of character and lad that he is, that he'll be chomping at the bit to try to get back out there to help us improve and progress. So it's just a case of being sensible, really, Dave, with Craig Clay at the moment.
What will Hector offer you? I'd imagine that he'll definitely be in contention.
Yeah, he will. 100%. He'll come back into the squad. Hector offers us a lot of different things. He offers us a different type of footballer on the ball in terms of the passes that he plays, and his character that I really like to go and get on the ball and receive it under pressure and in different areas of the pitch. He's a different type of athlete to what we've got in the team in terms of the way he covers the ground. So he gives us a lot, and we'll welcome back with open arms.
And it will be a very different Tranmere side that you'll face, the one that you beat all those months ago.
Yeah, the staff and I had a real challenge sort of conflicting of opinions when we played Tranmere, and they wasn't great on the night, and I thought we were deserved winners. But when we came away, the conversation that we had that there wasn't a particularly great side, but I knew the quality of the players that they've got in there, and then obviously again the players that they've recruited since they've changed the manager. So it's a good manager in charge of a good team and a good set of players. So we know it's going to be another tough test, and we've got to dust ourselves down. What I like the most about this group at the moment is there's a realism and there's an understanding of what we need to do to get to where we want to get towards the end of the season. We haven't given up hope of getting closer to the top 7-8 places in the league by the end of the season. We know that there's a certain points tally that we've got to get to achieve that. Our run of results at the moment isn't at the level that we would hope and would have expected. But we're continuing to progress. So what I liked tonight is severe disappointment. We've given up, correct me if I'm wrong, one real clear-cut chance, which was a penalty that wasn't deserved. And at the same time, something we haven't touched upon, we have a penalty at the other end that's hilarious that we don't get it. The guy wins the header, and understandably when the referee says to me at full time, the guy won the header, of course he did. But you can't forearm smash someone in the side of the head after you've won the header, anywhere on the pitch. Fortunately, I suppose, for the referee, and his explanation was, I didn't see it. So there's not much I can do about that. But he managed to see the one that Adam Thompson scissored but didn't scissor at the other end.
Finally for me, Ross, other than bruised pride, any injuries tonight?
No, we look okay, Dave, to be honest. It is bruised pride, it's disappointment. Like I say, we're disappointed with where we're at and the results that we've faced in recent weeks. But like I say, for me, to walk in the changing room there and see the positive response, the focus on the weekend, the focus on what the future looks like, on what we want to do to continue to improve and get better. So far so good. We'll be back in tomorrow morning at the training ground, so hopefully we'll if there is any sort of niggles or issues, we'll learn a little bit more about that in the morning.